Holy crap, it's Christmas time again already? Long time no see. This year, things are crazy in New York and DC, but not for the reasons you might think. No. See, the Fourth Horseman of the Apocalypse is trying to ruin Christmas, so Angie Prophet has to... You know what? It'll be easier if we start from the beginning. Psychotoxic is a 2004 first-person shooter from German developer Nuclear Vision. In the game's own words, Psychotoxic places gamers in the shoes of heroine Angie Prophet, who is faced with the daunting task of saving mankind from impending nuclear Armageddon. Capitalized. The year is 2022? Well, I guess she succeeded. The game's intro has the weirdest video player I think I've seen. For whatever reason, it's got actual play controls in the bottom right. I had to install some codec along with the game, so maybe it's related to that. We're playing on an actual Windows XP PC. It's got parts from around 2008, so it's pretty high-end for this game. That will be relevant later, I promise. We're playing on maxed out graphics at 1024 by 768. I don't think widescreen is supported out of the box. Speaking of boxes, I'm pretty sure this game isn't for sale anywhere, so if you want to play it, you'll have to buy a physical copy like mine here, or acquire it through other means. Oh, and the game uses Starforce DRM, so I doubt it'll work on a modern PC without some highly illegal modifications. You filthy criminal. Thanks, Section 1201 of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. Anyway, I'll give you a taste of what we're in for here.
And when he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold a pale horse. And his name that sought him was Death, and hell followed with him.
Basically, this is some Bible verse about the Fourth Horseman of the Apocalypse, straight out of Revelation. And here we are at the title screen. Angie has a particular taste in fashion. We've got 4 difficulty options to choose from, ranging from Freedom Joy Pancakes to Forget It. Plus, there's an unlabeled checkbox. What does it do? Who knows? I'm gonna go with Forget It difficulty. I'm sure it'll be fine, pro gamer that I am.
This is WNIN from New York. The violent conflict in the city continues. The number of victims remains unclear. However, unofficial sources estimate 2,000 dead. The number of injured persons remains unconfirmed. Mayor Stone has ordered a strict 24-hour curfew over the city until the causes of the violence are determined. Experts question whether the New York Police Department will be able to keep control of the city. Deployment of the National Guard is anticipated. Mayor Stone has stated that any breach of the curfew will be punished severely. Washington. The White House spokesman has expressed serious concern about the present national and global situation. The president is in constant contact with the heads of the governments of Russia, China, and Europe. The reason for the worldwide riots is still not clear. Expert teams throughout the world have been working feverishly trying to determine the causes of the violence. Attempts to attribute these riots to the effects of the gene-manipulating virus have been rejected by
Angie Prophet.
Who wants to know? Please come with us to the headquarters. I hope I'm not going to regret this.
Me too, Angie. Me too. The intro video from loading up the game was one thing, but I'm gonna let some of this play out.
I'm not really sure, but do we know each other?
What? The dialogue for the cinematics is absurdly quiet. In fact, fighting with the volume mixer is a core feature of this game, unfortunately. I'm gonna do the best I can with it in post.
Please, do sit down.
No, thank you. I'd rather stand.
Very well. I'm quite sure that the catastrophic state of the world hasn't passed you by. There are more wars than ever before. Millions of people are starving. We even have reason to fear another world war. The state of emergency is being declared throughout the land.
I think that we're living in the same crazy world.
If something isn't done about this soon, it will be too late for us all. We need your help.
Should I serve a couple of drinks to relax the state of world politics?
It's explained in the manual that Angie works at a dive bar called the Devil's Inn. Otherwise, this makes a little bit less sense.
There's something quite extraordinary about you. I'm talking about your special powers.
How do you know about that? I've never told anyone before. I can hardly remember myself.
We've been watching over and protecting your entire life. It actually wasn't necessary, because you always looked after yourself well enough. You are the chosen one.
Stop making fun of me.
Unfortunately, this is no game. Do you know the revelations of the Prophet John?
In the name of the fallen and his prophet Aaron Crowley.
Doctor, why?
There is little time, my child. You must go to New York and meet with Dr. Lindstrom. He knows everything.
How should I?
Use the intercom unity. It's there on the table. Max will help you. He's the only one you can trust. Now go. Even this place isn't safe any longer. Angie, use your gift. It is the key.
Doctor, how do you know about all of this? Doc! Doc!
Okay, wow. I'm not sure which is more surprising, that Angie has some kind of special powers, or that we were escorted into a federal building strapped with a pistol and we got to keep it. Well, here we are. It's awfully dark. Aside from that, the graphics aren't terrible, and everything's running smoothly. There's quite a bit of detail in this opening room with the clutter. I'm trying to pick up this ammo and these other items, but it's not working. There's an interact symbol and a dedicated keybind that doesn't seem to work, and getting close to the table doesn't work either. Running over the item on the floor does work at least, so I guess they just expect me to jump on the furniture.
Angie, it's Max. Did I hear shots fired?
Dr. Saunders is dead. He was just shot to death.
Damn it, how could this happen? Have you been brought up to speed on everything?
No, I actually don't know anything.
That is bad. That is very bad. I haven't received any information either. I'm somewhat new here. I only know that you're in great danger and that you absolutely must be taken to New York.
And how should I get there?
Wait, let me check it out really quick. All domestic flights have been canceled completely, apparently following orders from the very top.
Not the very top.
As I see it, there's only one possibility.
Yeah?
Air Force One will be taking off in about 2 hours in order to pick up the President's military advisor in New York.
Oh, and you're telling me that if I ask politely, then they'll take me with them.
I'd imagine they won't be prepared for your visit. But let's see. First of all, you need to get out of here safely. I'm logging onto the FBI database. Open sesame! Looks good, Angie. The door is open. Go to the underground garage. But be careful. I think there are people out there that want to kill you.
Yeah, I think you get it by now. The voice acting in this game is mostly pretty bad. If the rest of the game is on the same level of quality, we're gonna be in for a rough time. Max is our radio buddy for the game. He mostly just gives us directions at the beginning of some missions and shuts up otherwise, so he's not constantly in our ear, which is nice. Anyway, like I said, this first room is pretty detailed with the clutter. I like looking at this kind of stuff because someone had to sit down and make it, even though it's not meant to hold up under scrutiny. I think a lot of the photos in the game might be pictures of the developers. Let's get out of here. How the hell do I pick up these damn guns? In any other shooter, they'd just be added to the inventory, but not here. We only have 3 weapon slots, plus 2 that we can't swap out, and those are pretty much useless. Turns out we have to push the hotkey of the slot we want to put the gun in while we're looking at it to pick it up. and to be fair, that is explained in the manual. It only takes a couple shots to kill a guy. I like that. No bullet sponges here. We got shot once and it took off a quarter of our health though. Yikes. With hit scan weapons, that's gonna make for a tough time. That's what we get for playing on the hardest difficulty, I guess. This silenced pistol's not bad. We can pretty much rapid fire it. Dang, first death. That didn't take long. It helps to know where enemies are, and we can lean around corners, but it disables shooting. I guess it's better than nothing. Now you might be wondering what this game has to do with Christmas. Well, here you go. According to the manual, it takes place a bit before the actual day. There are holiday decorations scattered around for a good chunk of the game. We've got a Santa poster, lit stars in the windows, and a tree just here in the lobby. And not related to Christmas, but equally important, working toilets. We make our way through more of the building, but man is it slow going. I died over and over and over. Some of these enemies even have moves. Mostly, I'm resorting to quick save scumming and shooting the bad guys to stun them before they shoot me. You're probably gonna see that saved text a lot unless I can cut around it. Also, hang on a sec. The bad guys? We're shooting up an FBI building. Are all of these people in on some kind of plot to kill Angie, or are they just doing their jobs? Moreover, the bodies eventually disappear in puffs of black smoke. What's going on here? Are these people demons, or is Angie having a psychotic break? I don't know. We might be on the naughty list this year. Oh, thank God, we shut off that annoying alarm. Hey, did you know that the FBI was still running Windows 98 in 2022? Also, this room looks like a tornado blew through it. That's probably going to be a common theme that we'll talk more about later. These bottles and boxes are apparently unbreakable. Oh, nice graphics. They're apparently incredibly heavy as well. You may have deduced it already, but I've got some bad news. This game is a total jank fest, even running natively on Windows XP. Even so, I do enjoy the physics and interactivity in the environment. A lot of things can be destroyed, and the enemies have some pretty satisfying ragdoll physics. There's also a little more to the game than meets the eye, which we'll see soon. I made it outside, but where the hell do I go from here? There is a keycard down there that I need, but how do I get down there? Well, I ended up jumping down, which is risky because the game has falling damage, and I took out the guys waiting for me, but now I have a new problem. There's no way back up. The keycard I got is yellow, but the one for the door down here is green. I tried jumping back up, but no dice. And since I quick saved down here, my only option is to restart the level. Wow, really nice. I took this opportunity to play around with some settings. You may have noticed some screen tearing in the earlier footage, and I think that's because the game doesn't have a VSync option. I tried forcing it through my drivers and by editing config files, but nothing worked. At the very least, I cranked up the gamma. It's kind of buggy and doesn't show the proper setting in the options menu after restarting the game, but it at least saves correctly. I also decided to drop the difficulty down to Fierce, for my own sanity. Consider it an early Christmas present to myself. With that taken care of, I went back through the level. We've only covered like 15 minutes of gameplay at most, so it didn't take very long. The reduced difficulty helps a ton, but honestly, so does the change in brightness. I can actually see what the hell's going on now. I made it back to the area where I got stuck earlier, and I'm still stuck. Or so I thought, until I saw it. There's a fucking ladder on the wall here, but you can only barely see it coming out of the window, and it's completely obscured as you approach the hole in the roof of this skyway, which is what captures the player's attention. What the hell kind of level design is that? I'm annoyed, but at least we can progress through the game. Jesus Christ, Psychotoxic. Drink Sexy Ricks. No thanks. It's cool that the machine breaks, but it'd be better if the broken texture matched the unbroken one. Further into the building, we find our first special power, healing. Yeah, as it turns out, Angie does indeed have special powers, like Dr. Saunders said. There are medkits of varying effectiveness scattered throughout the levels, but it's handy to have something on the go that will heal us to the exact amount we want. These power-ups only have a limited charge though, and we can only carry one at a time. This guy's rocking out. And there's someone on the line here, but I can't quite make out what they're saying. The building has its own shooting gallery, which is cool. And check this out. The FBI has some interesting taste in decor. After a bit of key hunting, we make it back outside to where I got stuck. There are a few levels like this, where we kind of go in circles a bit. It sort of makes some levels feel like a Skyrim dungeon, where we'd end up back where we started after opening a secret door or something. God damn, who's shooting me? This is a constant problem with the game. The audio mix is so terrible that it's impossible to tell where the enemies you can't see are a lot of the time, especially when listening for gunfire. I mean, a lot of the weapons are silenced, but still, it's obnoxious to deal with in these open spaces. Apparently, the NYPD has RoboCop mechs in 2022. Who knew? Our goal this whole time has just been to get to the parking garage, and thankfully we're almost there. Just one more door to go, but we've hit a snag. The guard's asleep and we don't have the code. How in the heck are we gonna get out of this one?
Max, can you open the door?
Sorry, Angie. The current code is inaccessible.
The door is made of steel, so I won't be able to crack it so lightly. There is also a guard here, but he can't be approached.
Then use your powers and extract the code from his memory.
To hell with it! You seem to know me better than I know myself. And I don't even know if I can do it at all.
It's just like riding a bike. You never forget how to do it.
Damn it. Here goes.
Yeah, the translation for this game is pretty awkward at times, so the fault for the rough voice acting may not lie entirely with the actors. In we go. Welcome to the first mine stage. This is where Psychotoxic sets itself apart from most shooters. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but I'd say that guard isn't having very pleasant dreams.
Max?
Sorry, I have to calibrate myself to you.
What do you mean?
Time passes much more quickly for you because you are, in principle, dreaming. So I must be faster as well.
Wild! But something seems a little bit off here. I can hardly believe that these are the guard's thoughts.
We're harried by a ghost pretty much immediately. I tried stabbing it with our knife, but yeah, it works mostly like you'd expect. I didn't notice that our revolver has infinite ammo. I thought it only had 6 bullets at the time. Not that it mattered much here, because we get a new weapon pretty much immediately. It's some kind of orb that shoots cool-looking explosions, and it works on the ghosts pretty well. In fact, it's the same weapon that they have. We have to do a little platforming and navigate around some fire, but no big deal. It's always a little touch and go with first-person platforming. The faces on the wall are pretty cool. The whole point of this section is to introduce the main antagonist.
Miss Prophet, I'm shocked to see you. You really shouldn't be here anymore.
And you are?
Oh, how impolite of me. Allow me. Reverend Aaron Crowley, at your service. Anything for you.
Crowley? You killed Saunders.
Well, as they say, he wasn't too useful.
What kind of a place is this?
Do you like it, my dear? This is my realm, Miss Prophet. A world outside of reality. This is my cathedral, created for the fallen, as a monument to your ignorant beliefs and your arrogant gods.
guard. You can find him here. Probe into his dreams. But pay attention. I have altered his dreams a bit. Simply allow yourself to be surprised.
Well, Miss Prophet,
What's going on here?
My dear, soon enough that won't be of much interest to you. From this dream, there is no waking.
So we're not in the guard's thoughts after all, at least not yet. Crowley intercepted us like some kind of southern Freddy Krueger. Let's push on. This is what the guard was dreaming about, I guess? Again, the environment design here is solid. The place is full of some kind of Michael Myers looking guys. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with the physics, but it appears we're sending them to heaven. Until their bodies smash into the ceiling anyway. And it's not limited to just the enemies. At first I thought this was a bug, but I'm not sure how that would work from a technical sense. And it doesn't happen on any other level, so I assume it's just the developers wanting to make something wacky. We get a new gun in here that lets us do a little sniping, or actually a lot of sniping. It works pretty well, and it's probably the best way to tackle the level. It actually does less damage when you're not looking through the scope, which could make ammo a problem. Mercifully, the scope highlights enemies in blue as well. We're also introduced to 2 new power-ups. One is a shield, which blocks some damage while it's active. It slowly drains down when in use though, and seems to take normal damage, so I'd say it's pretty definitively the worst of Angie's abilities. The star of the show is the slow time power-up. I didn't really put it to good use here, but I promise to show it off later. Without a doubt, it's one of the game's best features. Ooh, another lovely face. The downside for this dream level is that those masked enemies are pretty much all we ever see, so it's a little monotonous. Well, aside from a couple ghosts here and there. The good news is that the level is pretty short, and we find the info we need pretty quickly. Based on the condition of the guard, Crowley might not be that far off from Krueger after all, at least superficially, though I doubt Freddy would be so merciful or absent from the dreamscape. Now that we have the code, we can get into the parking garage. There's not much for me to say here, though. We're basically just killing more agents whose innocence is unclear. There are some opportunities to play with explosives placed around the level, which is pretty fun with the physics. In fact, the game demands that you use these to progress in some areas. This game could really use some grenades. This next room is a great opportunity to show off that slow time power-up. The dual silence submachine guns actually kinda suck, but they worked well enough here. Do I intend to walk to the airport? I don't even know where the hell I am. For all I know, it's just down the block. The hardest part of this level is figuring out which car we're supposed to use. Ah yes, New York, Colorado, my favorite state. Okay, found it. Let's roll. Hang on, let me just... Okay, here we go. I couldn't help but notice that there was no sound effect for smashing through the gate. Missing sounds is an issue that seems to plague this game. For example, you might expect some kind of noise when grabbing a power-up, but no, it's just silence. Alright, we made it to the airport.
I basically work for the government, right?
Yep, basically.
Well then, I'll just get myself a seat in business class.
The only question is, do I still work for the government?
Then who do you work for, Max?
Only for you, Angie.
This dialogue, man. You know what? Never mind. This airport's got some nice hardware. Double optical drives, not too dissimilar from the first computer I ever built for myself. The back of it is aggressively rudimentary, like a stock photo of an average PC of the era. 2004, that is. There's more than just a computer to look at here, though. We've got some ads, an important evacuation message, a can of unimportant trash, my favorite flavor, and of course, some Christmas decorations. This tree isn't looking quite right. I approve of the stocking, though. Blah! These cookies have raisins in them! Disgusting! Well, looks like someone was trying to smuggle a shotgun through security. I'll take that. What the fuck was that? Anyway, this shotgun is so disappointing. Maybe the worst weapon in the game. Well, outside from the Mind Worlds anyway. I mean, look at this. Whoever made this is getting coal in their stocking for sure. The game's also extremely precious about the ammo for it in a way that's totally unwarranted for how bad it is. Ginger on ginger violence. You hate to see it, especially this time of year. This must be the aftermath of that explosion. The fire looks cool except for the parts that run at like 5 frames per second. Oh yeah, I mentioned that the 2 starter weapons are pretty much useless. Here's a demonstration of the Tampa. It works a little better if you use the alternate grip. Crouching is basically stealth mode because enemies can't hear your footsteps, so this is a rare opportunity for a stealth melee kill. Or a melee kill of any kind, really. We make it to the hangar with Air Force One and, surprise, forced stealth section, everybody's favorite. Psychotoxic was absolutely not made with stealth in mind, but thankfully this is the only part of the game where it's mandatory. We just need to get across this long catwalk and down to the other side. Damn it, we got spotted. Yeah, mandatory means mandatory. Getting spotted is instant death. I don't know how the hell they're seeing me, though. They're like 50 feet below me. Like, yeah, the catwalk is see-through, I get that, but that hasn't mattered anywhere else. Are they peeking at me through the fucking gaps in the stairs or what? I get caught over and over and over. Well, it turns out that I need to wait for a gap in their patrol pattern and then go down the stairs. Okay, if you say so, Psychotoxic. At ground level, we find our final type of power-up, invisibility. It does exactly what it says on the tin, but it runs out pretty quick. Thankfully, we can toggle it on and off as needed, just as long as we have power left. A quick jaunt through the stacks of shipping containers and some judicious use of Invis gets us to a container we can use to sneak onto the plane. The ride's a little rough, though. And Max hits us up with the scoop on Crowley.
I conducted some research on Crowley. He considers himself a reincarnation of Aleister Crowley.
Aleister Crowley?
Aleister Crowley was a very popular Satanist around the beginning of the last century. Our Crowley has a thick file with the FBI. He was investigated for murder, rape, forbidden occult practices, and many other offenses. But nothing could ever be proved. He had succeeded in assembling a cult-like group of believers around himself. The number of his followers has been estimated at 35,000, but the actual number is likely to be much higher.
35,000? We're gonna have to prepare ourselves for this.
She says while stowing away on Air Force One.
That's what I think, but we don't have any clue where his followers are. You can assume that many of them are to be found in the corridors of power. Without a doubt, he's infiltrated every level of the government.
We have to be damn careful.
Well, I guess that might explain what's going on here a bit better. Maybe most or all of these agents are Crowley's cultists. Aleister Crowley was a real person, by the way. I don't know much about him, but he sounds like an interesting guy from fairly recent history. I'm not quite sure Max's characterization of him is entirely accurate, but it's not that important in the context of the game.
Angie, the plane's losing altitude. You have to get to the console and activate the navigational system immediately.
And then what?
Then you climb into the President's escape pod. I'll eject you over Central Park.
Before long, I'll need some fresh air.
Hurry up. And don't forget, even though the plane is armored, avoid gunfight if at all possible. Otherwise, get all of the fresh air you want.
Okay. I'd love to play the game, but how the hell do I open the damn container door? Oh, seriously, I was stuck in there for like a full minute and I still have no idea how the door opened. You'd think this would be a timed mission, but thankfully that doesn't seem to be the case. Geronimo! Yeah, maybe the escape pod plan is better. Oh, and that warning about avoiding gunfights? Total bullshit. I gotta say, the game is doing a good job of keeping things interesting with these environment switch-ups. The level is mostly just a quick keycard hunt, but the playing gets progressively more unstable. I have no idea if this was modeled after a real version of Air Force One or not, but I like the aesthetic.
Something's going on here.
What do you mean?
I just hacked into the plane's backup computer. Apparently, the majority of the military and police personnel in New York have been ordered to withdraw from the city. They're completely sealing off New York.
What's that supposed to mean?
I have no idea. But you can bet that we're deeply involved.
You know, I was gonna skip showing you most of the dialogue, but with a translation like this coupled with the voice acting, you can bet that we're deeply involved.
And how do we find Dr. Lindstrom?
According to the minimal information that I have from Saunders, they'll be meeting in Central Park Zoo. That's exactly why I'm dropping you there.
I love the slow motion power-up. Yeah, somehow after activating the navigation system, we get respawns when backtracking to the escape pod. Where are these guys coming from exactly? Whatever, we're out.
Hold tight, baby!
Oh my god!
Well, I can't complain about Max's accuracy. We're in Central Park in New York, alright. How the cop isn't looking straight at the woman who just jumped out of an object that fell from the fucking sky is beyond me.
That wasn't so bad.
Well said.
Try to find the zoo. I think the park is clearly marked.
Regardless, I guess some of the NYPD are part of Crowley's cult. Oh, but that's not all. The damn military is dropping in troops via chopper. Either something fishy is going on, or we're absolutely the bad guy here. Or bad gal, rather. Those guardsmen have one of the best weapons in the game, though. It's basically a silenced automatic rifle with a sniper scope. It doesn't highlight enemies, but we can kill just about anyone in a couple shots from long range. I think it uses the same ammo as the dual submachine guns, so it's a great replacement for them. Central Park is a huge open area, so it's hard to know where to go. Hell, I've been there and I didn't even know it had a zoo, though I recognize a few of the other landmarks. Let's take a tour through the park, all dressed up for Christmas. The first spot is, well, I actually don't know, some kind of cafe? I didn't visit until over a decade after this game came out, so maybe this used to exist, or maybe I just didn't see it. Either way, we're on the northeast side of the reservoir, at least according to one of the nearby maps.
Up, get it, shake a little something. Can you feel me?
Oh,
Can you feel me?
my god. I don't even know what to say here, other than these guys are like discount Fat Larrys.
Player, what's the score? How they hang? Good evening and all that commotion. Welcome to Fat Larry's Trucker Mac, the only store for all your needs after 10 o'clock. I am the proprietor and salesman of the month several years in a row. The ladies call me, oh God, but you can call me Fat Larry with a F-A-T, cause I know I got a weight problem, I just don't give a fuck.
Yo! I feel you. Yo!
Jesus Christ. Also, yeah, the AI is absolutely brain dead a lot of the time, like you saw a second ago. Next up, we make a quick stop at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. There's what I think is a busted up T-Rex skeleton just inside. I think they may have conflated this museum with the American Museum of Natural History, because I don't think an art museum would have something like this. I also have a feeling it wasn't supposed to be scattered around in pieces, but we'll get to that later. Next, we stop by the Naumburg bandshell, take a second to appreciate the physics engine, and enjoy the view by the Bethesda Fountain, or Fontaine as the maps call it. There are also armed people in what appear to be Dom outfits in the park for some reason. I didn't visit at night, so maybe that's normal. I don't know. Somebody from New York could probably chime in. Anyway, this place is filthy with cops. I think this is going to be a very unmerry Christmas for a lot of families based on my kill count. I don't think a single one survived. Well, except for maybe this guy who's having some trouble with his horse. Foot patrol is fair game, but killing horses and their riders is strictly forbidden, I guess. Also, these cops must be well funded, because every car is supercharged, as far as I can tell. Oh, and it's worth noting that there are no health packs in this level. Instead, Angie's got quite the appetite. There are a handful of these carts scattered throughout the park. They have a limited supply of dogs, but it's more than enough. At least I assume she's eating hot dogs and not just drinking the hot dog water. And that brings us to the zoo. Sadly, we can't go in, and no Lindstrom. So where the hell is this guy? Well, I took a lap around the immediate area and didn't find anything. I've been seeing these pieces of paper in a couple places though. They stick out like a sore thumb, but they didn't seem to... Really? Damn, game. There was no interact symbol or anything. I guess I just had to stand in just the right spot to get that thing to pop up. They couldn't even format the text to fit it on the page. Jeez. Great. Lindstrom wants to meet somewhere else because the zoo is too hot. With how conspicuous these papers are, it's clear that clandestine meetings aren't his strong suit. Or the writers, for that matter. We were having such a nice time, too. So I backtrack to the statue and look at one of the notes that I found that didn't trigger at the time. At least Lindstrom acknowledges that maybe this isn't his thing. And of course, the goose chase continues to the museum where I found yet another note. Okay, now the devs are just fucking with us. Ha ha ha, running around a giant map where I pretty much already killed everyone. The epitome of fun. To be fair, there are a few more soldiers that dropped in by chopper, but it's not much in the way of resistance. Finally!
Max, I found him. Now I'm sure he's lost his mind. I'll try to tap into his spirit.
Wait, Angie!
Yes?
I still have some more information on Lindstrom. He's a specialist on artificial viruses and nanoorganisms. As a side note, I discovered that he and Dr. Saunders collaborated on a top-secret research project.
Don't you have anything else?
Not in connection with Saunders. Lindstrom. It might be interesting that Lindstrom has the most famous collection of old fairy tales and fables in the world.
Maybe.
Wait, is it Lindstrom or Lindstrom? I think the game is confusing both itself and me. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. What in the heck kind of fairy tale is this? If I look at the low game screen, it's listed as Fairy Tale Forest. What kind of fairy tale forests do you people have over there in Germany with a friggin' hanging tree? I was expecting something more along the lines of Hansel and Gretel. You know, the story where two young kids find a witch in a gingerbread hut who wants to eat them, so they push her into an oven instead and she burns Never mind, this makes sense now. Still, I'm getting more Nosferatu than Brothers Grimm here. Anyway, what we need to do is destroy all the clocks before the guillotine separates Lindstrom's head from his body. There's this damn dancing wolf here to slow us down, too. He takes a ton of hits and the revolver is all we have. His AI seems kind of bugged or something. There are actually a few around the village and I don't think I got hit by one once. Time is ticking down extremely quickly, but every clock we destroy slows the rate of time loss, which is a pretty cool feature. This area is not that big, so I found most of them without too much trouble, but a couple are pretty well hidden. With the last clock destroyed, we can finally chat with Lindstrom. All in all, this was a pretty cool section, weird, non-threatening wolves aside.
Angie Prophet? What the...
Later, Dr. Lindstrom. Why does the entire world behave as if it were mad?
We're being manipulated. The effects are different from person to person. I'm already lost.
I don't understand.
You will before long. I dropped off some secret documents. Go to Brooklyn and speak with Brad Allen. He's the owner of the Pussy Bar.
Pussy Bar? Really?
Come on in, pussy lovers! Pussy Bar. Simply say ghost story, and he will hand them over to you. When I feel a little better, I'm gonna go and pick flowers.
What?
Red flowers, blue flowers, yellow flowers. A bouquet with all the colors of the rainbow.
Huh, yeah, no shit. Well, it's pretty much what we all expected. I don't think the guy we're supposed to talk to is in any condition to help us out, though. There's a shotgun behind the bar, which is kind of a nice touch. Seeing our way to the back, the documents we need are there for the taking. But of course, there's a problem.
What nonsense! We ransacked the store and broke into the chest, and there is still no trace of Brad Allen.
And the documents?
They're too smeared to read. I can just barely make out the telephone number.
Give me some time. I'll find the connected address.
I guess the guy behind the bar wasn't the person we were looking for. Oh well, we got what we came for. Time to make ourselves scarce. This level is pretty much a romp through New York's dirty back alleys. There are some opportunities to have fun with explosives, though. Princess Sushi, huh? Yeah, you might have noticed that this game is strangely horny between stuff like this and some of the art around the levels. Surprisingly, Angie herself isn't really all that sexualized. Well, outside of her apparent inability to dress herself properly, anyway. That underwear out of the pants thing didn't fly for the box art, I guess. I got nobody to blame but myself for that one. As we make our way through the alleys, we end up near the apartment where Angie grew up. According to a conversation with Max, her mother died giving birth and she never met her father, so she was raised by her aunt. Let's go pay her a visit.
Hello, Aunt Julie.
I'm so happy that you're here. Is everything all right?
Yes, but I've gotten into something. I'm being followed and hunted.
I was afraid of that. They're hunting you because of your gift.
Because I can read people's thoughts?
Yes, but there is something else. Do you remember Father Malloy?
Yes.
He can help you more than I can.
You know, I can understand why Saunders didn't give us the full story, given that he was shot, but this lady's being awfully cagey. Alright, let's go see this Father Malloy.
Up, get it, shake a little something. Can you feel me? Up, get it, shake a little something.
This level's pretty much the same story as the last one, so I'm gonna skip ahead a bit. One thing I haven't talked about yet is the radio chatter.
Romeo, can you deal with just yourself? Hey, Bob, where you at? You went all the way to Avenue R? Conti, when you're finished, come back over to the CT on 200th and Avenue R. You went all the way to Avenue R? Affirmative.
It can be helpful to know that enemies are nearby, but it's the same couple lines over and over again, which gets old real quick, and it doesn't give any indication of what enemies are actually doing. Fear this game is not. Here's a look at that taser that permanently takes up one of our weapon slots. It's useless, like I said. Especially since, aside from the shotgun, ammo is typically so plentiful that it's practically impossible to run out. This time the taser crashed my game. I guess because the effect was still going while I died? Don't use the taser. Merry Xmas. Alright, what does Malloy have to say about all this?
Angie, heaven must have sent you.
Hardly. Aunt Julie. Well, you already know. You mean that you can't tell me any more about my powers?
I can't tell you anything about your powers. I can only tell you how you can learn more about yourself. Search within yourself. Delve into your thoughts.
But what should I search for?
You'll know when you find it. Concentrate on yourself. Slip into your inner world.
Are you surprised, Miss Prophet, to find me in your head?
What the hell?
You can't possibly imagine how far my influence extends.
Amazing that even with your influence you can't afford better aftershave.
Haha, got him.
Very amusing. You're beginning to get on my nerves, Miss Prophet. You must be afraid of the Dark One.
Angie's Mind World is basically a slasher flick in slow motion. I assume this is Crowley's handiwork. It's meant to be scary, I suppose, but it doesn't really hit the mark for me. Well, aside from the movement speed. We're moving at a snail's pace, and with the amount of walking in this level, I suppose that is pretty spooky. We're also being chased by some kind of creepy butcher guy or something, I guess. It doesn't seem like I can kill him, but I can knock him on his ass from time to time with a revolver. This level kinda sucks. It's just navigating some maze-like hallways with these annoying boards that have to be destroyed, while constantly shooting the guy stalking us. We just need to collect a couple keys to open a couple doors, maybe kill a couple spiders here and there, and we're done. It takes a fair bit longer than what I'm making it look like, though. This room at least is a bit interesting. Okay, enough of this. Let's get out of here. As we go a bit deeper into Angie's mind, we end up into some kind of future lab full of zombies. I guess maybe this is Crowley's handiwork too? Either way, things are about the jankiest they've ever been. We get a flamethrower from a giant zombie pretty early on, but it's not very good for hitting enemies on the ground, which is mostly what we're fighting here. I guess this place is Zomtech Inc. I can't say the developers don't have a sense of humor. Eventually, we get to this room with a turret in the middle. I assume what you're supposed to do is activate the turret to blast through waves of enemies, but... yeah, the turret doesn't work and the game crashes when I reload. Except when I come back, the room script breaks and the zombies don't spawn. Which, you guessed it, means I'm stuck in this room and have to restart the level. Fantastic. At least the levels are mostly fairly short in this game. Alright, so the turret might not work, but the AI is bad enough that I have an idea. Okay, the flamethrower may have redeemed itself a little. Shortly after, we find our inner self and have some kind of nonsense conversation about the light and... Look, I don't know what's happening exactly, but I can guess from the... I don't know, what do you call it? Allegory or metaphor implied by Angela's name in the story so far?
I identified the telephone number. It's the private phone number of Samuel C. Stone, ex-colonel of the Army and the former mayor of New York. Probably has a penthouse apartment in Manhattan.
Well then, we'll have to pay him a visit.
Attention all employees. Due to a technical problem, all elevators have been deactivated. The engineering team will perform corrective maintenance upon the system. The Tenko Group wishes all its employees a pleasant evening.
Tenko Tower is more or less this game's take on a Nakatomi Plaza type of level, loosely speaking at least. Actually, according to the manual, Tenko makes a lot of the weapons in this game. Get this fucking beeping out of here. Cute snowman. And hey, they fixed the tree ornament textures in this level. It's a Christmas miracle. There isn't anything new in terms of enemies here, but once again, the environment design is solid. I really like this room with the pond, though the physics are a bit suspect. And I haven't forgotten, we're going to talk about some of the jank in this game later. Looks like numbers are up. Capital. These cubicles must be a nightmare to navigate during the workday. This floor isn't up to code. It's totally unsafe. For you! Oh, ouch. Look at my health bar. 100 to 14 in a couple of seconds. I made the right choice when I lowered the difficulty. Oh yeah, the game crashes straight to the desktop if you try to reload with slow-mo active. Every single time. That's better. Up we go.
Affirmative.
God damn, man, what's going on with these doors? I activated the buttons, but nothing happened. Am I stuck again, or what? No. I just needed the thread of reloading the game, I guess? This art kind of gives me Grudge vibes. We make it into Stone's apartment, and, well, seems like he's a bit of a party animal. He's just upstairs, actually.
Governor Stone! Wait! What are you doing?
Angel 1. Angel 1. I'll be an angel soon.
Be reasonable and come down here, Stone.
No, me. No. My precious little bunny, darling.
I have to penetrate his mind.
Wait, can Angie read the thoughts of the dead? Or is she getting him on the way down?
We're killing in the back and all that. It's all over. I'll be dropping hip-hop with the bad track in the back of me. For the fact that these crackers can't even step, but they be trying to lose their rap and they lose their rap.
What the fuck is this? I did not see this coming. There are miniature explosive bunnies coming after me, and reloading the game makes the music stop playing. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. In fact, the only way to hear this track is to load in from the previous level. I figured out what I need to do here more or less by accident. Shooting the speakers reveals a button, and every button does something like this. I was running around so frantically trying to avoid the explosive bunnies so I didn't have to reload, but I didn't see if the rabbit had any other attacks. After a few buttons, he's down for the count, and we can explore a little more freely. There's not much here, just this small arena, but the dancing flowers are pretty cool. And unfortunately, the stairs to the treehouse are broken. We can have a talk with Stone now, though.
Angie Prophet, I barely recognized you. Stone, what's going on here? Listen, we don't have much time. The people are being manipulated. They're becoming progressively more violent every second. The strength of the will is more important here. But however long it takes, they'll all lose their minds. We tried to kill him, but all of our efforts are failures. We've lost many men. Who? Crowley? No, the Horseman. The Horseman! The Horseman!
This plays into what we heard in the intro.
Max, I'm back.
While you were out amusing yourself, I was snooping through the Pentagon files. Stone participated during his time in the military as an advisor on a top-secret project for the government.
Can you find out something about it?
All I know is that the project was named Angel 1.
That's what Stone called me.
There was still another military advisor, Colonel Sarah Jenkins from the Navy.
Where can we find her?
She's the captain of the museum battleship, up there by the docks.
We definitely won't get past those street barricades in Malloy's car.
Take the 9 to the 125th.
The subway isn't in service, silly.
Wanna bet?
I think the museum battleship Max is talking about might be the Intrepid Museum, but I'm not familiar enough with New York to say for sure. That's something I'd like to see someday, though. The subway is full of various movie posters, which is cool. What do you suppose Wizards dream about? The military is posted up here in force, which is a change of pace stylistically, but the shooting remains largely the same. We do run into a new armored enemy with a minigun, though. Which we can of course pick up. Get this shotgun out of here. The minigun can hold an absolute ton of ammo, which is nice, and it doesn't take long to spin up. Though it's in this weird place where it's still too long to not get shot most of the time, it's also hard as balls to aim due to the recoil. It's maybe a little safer to use with the slow motion power-up. Hitching a ride on the subway predictably sets us up for a fight through the cars. This is a bit tedious because there's not much room to maneuver for cover, but it's a pretty short section. I gotta say, the game really knows how to not overstay its welcome with some ideas. Really, the most interesting thing that happened was the car disappearing after reloading a save.
We have a problem. I've lost contact with the Metro server. You're riding on a blind train. You have to get to the front cabin and shut off the power there.
What about the emergency brakes?
There's an electronic problem. The emergency system is defective too.
Sabotage?
Maybe. Hurry! Even if most of the trains are in holding tunnels, I can't guarantee that something else won't be blocking the track.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I should have seen that one coming. Well, I did. I just didn't do anything about it. Anyway, the engine car is just ahead.
The console seems to be sabotaged here as well. Max!
Wait a minute. I'll try something else. I'm back. Damn, too late. Get down!
Well, I guess the game's over. No way we survived that. Hey, look, we survived that. Another Christmas miracle.
Angie? Angie? Are you...
Whoa, yeah, I think I'm still alive. Oh, my guardian angel probably had a good day today.
Apparently. I have at least good news for you. You've almost reached the harbor. Somewhere ahead of you is a fork in the tunnel. Follow it.
The harbor isn't really anything special, but we do get a new weapon here. It's an assault rifle with an underbarrel grenade launcher. Grenades, finally. They're a little underwhelming, but they have their uses. The assault rifle uses the same ammo as the minigun, and is pretty much a strictly better replacement for the mini, because the rifle is way easier to aim, and of course has the added benefit of the grenades. It seems like keeping the minigun can let you stash way more ammo, though. Apparently, Angie can't swim. That will be relevant later. Most of this level is fighting through warehouses full of shipping containers. It's not bad per se, but I also don't have that much to say about it, so I'm gonna skip ahead again. On the way to the ship, we run into Crowley in the flesh, and he's kidnapped Malloy.
Good morning, Miss Prophet. Here, I have a little surprise for you.
You damn filthy swine!
Where are your manners? You're even more beautiful when you're angry.
Let him go!
Don't worry, Miss Prophet.
My man's face is looking particularly undercooked.
He is already gone.
Stop it!
I'm heralding your death. Kill her!
Okay, this is bullshit. They drop you right into incoming fire, and that's very bad news on this difficulty. At least they have the courtesy to put plenty of health and a slow motion power-up in the arena.
Do those two properties with one dog and one
Whew, okay. Looks like we're heading into Malloy's mind. Holy shit, was he a World War II vet or something? How old is this guy exactly? The spectacle is pretty impressive, but this level is a real pain in the ass. Bombs are constantly dropping, and it's not exactly clear when they'll hit a lot of the time. We get some kind of homing chomper mine, but it's trash. You'll be dead by the time it explodes, and it barely does any damage anyway. I even managed to bug out the ammo counter so I had an infinite supply of them. Too bad it's useless. There are G-men with the laser guns from the first mine level here, along with zombie soldiers, plus defunct mechs? Okay, so maybe this isn't World War II after all. Not exactly, anyway. Oh, and don't forget about the cyber cows. They're mentioned in the manual, but I wasn't expecting to see them here of all places. We can even pick up their other guns and use them ourselves. This one's just so-so. It's got a lot of ammo, but it's extremely inaccurate. Honestly, between the enemies and the bombs constantly chipping away at my health, I don't want to stick around in this level. We managed to find Malloy in a medical tent just past a downed Zeppelin. He's not very helpful, though, just spouting more mumbo-jumbo about the light and saving humanity. One way or another, we found the ship we're after. The scoped rifle that we've had for half the game really shines here. We can use it to snipe guys all the way down on the deck. Earlier I said that all enemies use hit-scan weapons, but I'm not entirely sure that's true. There seems to be some bullet simulation going on here, because there's some gravity applied to my shots, as well as a slight delay between firing and a shot hitting at this distance. I assume the same rules apply to the enemy's guns as well. It's pretty cool. Since the AI isn't great, this is pretty much shooting fish in a barrel, but I can't say I'm not having fun. With the decks cleared, I used the crane to lower myself into the ship. I don't know, I'm not seeing much that screams museum here. It looks like the inside of a normal ship to me. Oh, and even though I killed everyone I could see on the deck, more guys spawned in anyway. That feels a bit cheap. Oh, and I found a good opportunity to try out the grenades in slow motion. Good times. Whoever's in this bunk keeps some hunky pictures on the wall. And I found the captain we're looking for, but it looks like Crowley found her first. She's, oof. Luckily, Crowley didn't notice the very discreet key floating in the ship in the bottle.
I'm guessing that the National Guard came here while Crowley searched the ship. He was probably in a hurry and didn't notice the key. It looked like a safety deposit box key.
It belongs to a safety deposit box, the National Metropole Bank. Hopefully, we'll find more than pearls in there.
And where is the bank?
You really can't miss it. It's...
in the Empire State Building?
Exactly.
Can you fly a helicopter?
I can handle most military aircraft.
Good. Let's fly.
Wow, a turret section that isn't completely busted. I appreciate the attempt at mixing things up, but this one goes on for way too long. We shoot down what might just be about every military chopper in the tri-state area. The ones we miss very kindly piss off and don't shoot us down, which is a baffling decision to say the least. There's no strategy here. The gun has infinite ammo and it never overheats, so it's just a matter of holding down the mouse button and aiming, which is exactly what I did. How many apartments do you suppose I shot into over the course of 5 minutes? Merry Christmas indeed. From the roof, it's a short trip to the bank. Honestly, they may as well have cut this out.
I tried to get some secret information from the Pentagon, and I stumbled upon an unusual message. It says that the Army and the National Guard have left the city, and that the ABC Special Services will be watching over the New York border now.
What's happening there, Max?
I don't have any idea. but I'm afraid that if I resume my connection, my position will be discovered.
Just be careful, Max. Without you, I'd be completely lost.
Don't you worry about me.
Another sleeping guard. Does anybody work in this town? Okay, we're doing a little deep diving, literally. This is a nice change of pace, except one thing. All we can do is sink straight down and turn, and this helmet has a delay on it for some reason, while obstructing a huge amount of our view. It's pretty miserable. On top of that, some asshole fish are coming after us, but they're almost impossible to see ahead of time, and there's no audio cue either. I don't know they're there until the screen starts flashing red. We've got a rapid-fire harpoon gun, so that's cool, I guess. It doesn't help that much, though. Further down, we're getting attacked by giant eels coming out of holes in the rock. These guys are just as bad. Mario 64-looking motherfuckers, get off me! I had to reload this section a bunch of times, and holy shit was it frustrating. The harpoon gun doesn't even seem to kill the eels, it just stuns them. There's also some kind of bug where I still have my other guns, and if I try to switch to one of them, I permanently lose the harpoon launcher. Very cool. Once we finally hit the ocean floor, we can move around. This part is actually awesome. I love the idea of exploring Atlantis or some other sunken city, and this area looks great. Sadly, it's cut extremely short. We get maybe 30 seconds in, and we find a submarine and board it. I assume this is the Nautilus. Nothing to see here, situation normal. Oh yeah, why would I want to use a cool new gun? My bad. The sub is full of enemies we've seen before, so there's not much new here other than the environment. It's a bit askew, so all the ammo slides into the corners where it's pretty much impossible to pick up. Nice. This level isn't much longer than the one just before it, so it doesn't take too long to get the code we need. This cinematic is the main lore drop for the story. It's a bit long, so I'm going to summarize. Basically, someone found an ancient doomsday device, the Fourth Horseman in this case, in the tunnels under New York 25 years ago, in the game's time, so 1997. There was also an ancient box that contained a Sumerian book and a diamond with a strand of hair inside. The book detailed how to create a living organism out of the DNA in the hair, so the military set up a lab to do just that and called the project Angel 1. I think you can see where this is going. Ultimately, the military didn't see the results they wanted and defunded the project. Since the lab might still exist, that's our next stop. Max thinks it's in the museum on Pearl Street nearby, so we're hoofing it. The trek over to the museum isn't that interesting, aside from some nice Christmas decorations and this one weird audio emitter. It implies a lot going on outside, but the noise dies down when we get out there. Not what you'd expect. For all the supposed bedlam, there is only a small handful of civilians present in the entire game.
The building is well guarded. What do I do now?
The building is monitored by security cameras as well as guard posts. They protected themselves with an unregistered firewall. If I can successfully get it past it, I can lock myself in and deactivate the security system. Find the firewall, and then we'll know what to do.
Get a load of these statues. Based on what Max was telling us, I was worried that this was going to be another stealth section, but thankfully that's not the case. There's some kind of text on the bottom of this door, but I can't quite read it. Inside, there are a bunch of cool exhibits. Spinning blocks, tubs, Cerberus, an invisible room. Yeah, that same bug we had in the subway car happened again. Except this time I couldn't fix it and had to restart the level. Good times. This wall is pretty cool. The ground floor has a bunch of nice looking sculptures as well. Anyway, we're basically running around and messing with computers to deactivate various laser grids around the museum. The one thing I really don't like about this level is all the backtracking. Like here, I made it to the lobby and deactivated a laser, but there's still another one active. So I went all the way back to the lobby, and of course, there was another room across the hall where I had to deactivate the other laser. Silly me. So now I get to go all the way back and hit another button to open up a door so we can progress. Whoop, hang on. Okay, that's better. We make it downstairs to the lab, and look who it is. Saunders survived after all. This cinematic is a bit long like the one in the bank, so I'll sum up. Angie is Angel 1. She was created from the DNA in the hair in the diamond. And she's the chosen one to save the world and destroy the Fourth Horseman, blah 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 blah. I'm sure none of us pieced that together. Oh, and Crowley found out about the Horseman somehow, and activated it. It's spewing nanobots into the air that make people crazy and ultimately violent. You get it? The name of the game? Psychotoxic? Ah. Why did Crowley do this? Because Satan, I guess. And he probably hates Christmas, I don't know.
Damn, they're already here. Angela, get in the elevator.
But...
There is no time. You must stop the Horseman. I know that now.
Now I know why the city is being closed off.
And?
The president has ordered a nuclear attack.
What?
It seems that that's the only way that the Horseman can be stopped.
Why haven't they sent one of their kick-ass task forces to defeat the Horseman on the spot with smaller explosives?
According to my information, they've already tried that several times. But the influence of the nanobots is so strong near the Horseman that all of the teams destroy themselves.
Will I be protected because of my special genetic makeup?
Probably. Hurry! I don't want you to be vaporized by the nuclear shockwave!
Automatic governmental transmission. A thermonuclear strike on Manhattan will be executed soon. Any executive forces are ordered to leave Manhattan. I repeat, leave the center of Manhattan and retake yourself to the nearest safety zone.
Oh, how courteous of the government to alert the citizens of New York that they're about to get nuked. I'm sure everyone will take the news in stride. Alright, we know what we need to do. Destroy the Horseman. This section is another great environment, even if the shooting itself isn't super exciting. We start off in the lab with access to all the ammo and weaponry we could ever want, and we also find the box that was discovered in the tunnels years ago that had Angie's DNA in it. Nothing we can do with it, but it's cool to see. Eventually, subway tunnels give way to an ancient-looking temple of sorts under New York, filled with ancient writing and statues, and culminating in the Chamber of the Horseman itself. It's an impressive-looking machine.
Wow! Max, the Horseman!
I can't stand it.
He's magnificent. And at the same time frightening.
And how do we turn this toaster off?
No idea. I'll take a closer look.
Getting to the core is kind of a pain because there are guys shooting at me that are tough to see, but once they're dealt with, we're free to descend into the belly of the beast, where some kind of machinery is feverishly working away on some ball of light. Let's put this Horseman to rest and save the world. Looks like we've got one last trip into the Mind Realm.
Welcome to hell!
Who would have thought that your pitiful god would send such a weak creature into battle? Perfect. You're supposed to be the last remaining bastion against all-consuming chaos? Do you really think that you can rescue the stinking disease called humanity from certain doom?
And if I'm not human?
But you are. You're more human than most humans are. And that is your weakness. Your despicable humanity will be your demise.
Now, I will fulfill the prophecy. Time to die!
What the? This is the final boss? It looks like an unused asset from the cartoon level. Dealing with it isn't too bad, we just need to circle strafe around to avoid the bubbles it shoots. There are these little platters that occasionally spin around the arena that hold weapons. Between the need to circle strafe, the weapons on the move, and the fucking Legos everywhere, this fight can be a little bit trickier than first meets the eye. I do appreciate the health bar, bare bones though it is. Oh, so there's another form. Interesting. This is more like what I was expecting, but the strategy isn't really any different. There's some kind of bug where if we empty the mag without reloading, we lose the weapon. Or maybe that's how it's supposed to work, and they intended to take away all of our ammo before the fight, and the game just bugged out. Who knows? Eventually, cyber cows start spawning as distractions, which makes things a little more chaotic. There are a few power-ups around the arena to help out, though. A third form, eh? Let's hope this is the last one. It doesn't seem to be meaningfully different from the last one, from what I can tell. I almost made it through the entire fight first try without reloading, but this version of the boss might be a little better at tracking the player. I got him nearly killed, but then the bastard started regenerating. Oh, I gotcha. We need to blast these eyes. It's a bit hectic, but with the eyes gone, we can finish what we started. That's it. Did we win?
I've done it.
Get out of here! All hell's about to break loose! Everything's falling apart!
Where's Crowley?
He probably crawled whimpering into some hole.
We're not quite done. We've got an escape sequence. What? What the hell just happened? I die instantly every time I load the level. I even tried re-killing the boss and restarting the game, as well as installing an official patch. Nothing worked. Well, I think I know what's going on, but I need a sec to get set up. I haven't really talked about the music, so let's go over that extremely quickly here. In general, it's actually pretty decent. Probably one of the high points of the game. I'm not very good with music genres, but I think it's mostly a mix of rock and what might be broadly classified as electronic dance music. Here are a few samples. Okay, we're set up. Now we have to talk about some of the jank in the game. There's no avoiding it anymore. See, from what I can tell, this game expects to be running at or below 60 frames per second. We've been running it much higher because I couldn't get VSync to work. That messes up the physics, and apparently some other parts of the game, like the rising water we just experienced. It's something that I noticed when reloading the game from time to time. Objects would suddenly just collapse or start flying. This is probably why the dinosaur skeleton in the park was in pieces when we found it. I don't think the frame rate is the culprit for other kinds of jank, like getting stuck on tiny or flat objects or getting stuck in doorways though. Anyway, we have to solve this instant death problem or we're not going to be able to finish the game. Since I couldn't get VSync working on the machine we've been playing on, I installed the game on another Windows XP PC that I have set up. This one has parts from around 2002 to 2003, so it's much slower. Specifically, it's got a GeForce 4 Ti 4200 and a roughly 2 GHz Athlon XP single-core processor. Weirdly, even though the video codec's installed, the videos don't work on this computer. Anyway, let's try that level again. Yes, I was right! Given the jank, I was curious if there was a speedrun of this game anywhere, so I looked it up after I finished it. There is one on speedrun.com, and the runner had the same problem initially. They came to the same conclusion about the instant death problem in a forum post, so that pretty much confirms it. This is the only reference to the issue I've seen anywhere online. Well, we got past the instant death. I made a save and tested it later on the PC we've been using for the entire playthrough, and we could have proceeded from there, but I decided to play through this level on the older computer. It runs surprisingly well at max graphics settings for being a bit under the recommended specs. Since the chamber is collapsing, we have to climb our way out. This is another level where you'd think there would be a time limit, but as far as I can tell, there isn't. No complaints here. Apparently, our assault rifle can destroy a ton of solid rock, no sweat, and there's a little tricky platforming, but for the most part, it's not too bad. The hardest part is seeing some of the enemies. That and getting up one of the ladders in the Horseman's chamber. All in all, this is a pretty short sequence. Okay, I think we're just about out. Let's switch back to the other computer so we can see the end of level video. I assume we're at the end of the game.
I think that the world is slowly returning to normal. The bombers have been recalled. Where once gunshots rang out, now silence reigns. I spoke with Saunders.
He's alive?
Yeah, he'd hauled himself up in the laboratory. At the very moment you annihilated the Horseman, his minions returned to normal.
What's going on with Crowley?
He hasn't been found. No body, not a single trace. He probably made a run for it and is now licking his wounds. But I think the Secret Service will remove him from the city discreetly enough. We don't want to make him a martyr.
And the machine?
I think it was fully destroyed, but I know for certain that the entrances were sealed off. No one should ever be able to set foot in this unholy place again.
Then will anyone ever find out what happened to us over the past few days?
No way. They'll cover it up. Whenever reality gets too complicated, the simplest of explanations always helps. Presumably, it will suffice to say that it was a mutative flu virus.
And people will believe it. Oh, how's a cool beer sound, Max?
Sorry, I can't. My identity is top secret. We'll probably never see one another again. And you, Angie? What will you do now?
I think I've had enough adventures for the time being. I'll just go back to my job at Devil's Inn as if nothing ever happened. Max, oh, come on. Come over and have a beer. Maybe I'll recognize you by smell.
I think that's a possibility. Take care, Angel One.
You too, Max.
Angie!
What is it, Max?
He found me. He's here.
Crowley? Where are you, Max?
In the Statue of Liberty.
How did you get in there? It's been a restricted area for years.
Guess what? Hurry! I don't know how long I can...
Max? Max!
We're still not quite done. Liberty Island has been fully militarized for whatever reason. Aside from the usual guards, some of those NYPD mechs we saw earlier are actually functional, and they can kill us in a couple seconds. Plus, there's a chopper overhead that can kill us about as quick if we're not careful. I tried taking these things out with our usual weapons, but that doesn't seem to be working. What we need to do instead is activate the island's defense turrets.
Locked targets will now be attacked. For your own safety, the security doors will be closed.
It's pretty lame that they lock us in this room instead of letting us see the carnage. I guess there wasn't enough time or budget for the animations.
Enemy targets have been destroyed. All systems on standby. Security doors will now be opened. Have a nice day.
How pleasant. With the exterior threats eliminated, we can enter the statue. It's fine. There are the usual enemies, but nothing new, so the resistance isn't out of the ordinary. What I already showed you outside is the most interesting part of the level, so let's just cut to the end.
Are you looking for Max, Miss Prophet?
Shoot, Angie!
Ah! We'll meet again.
What was my man's plan here? Get shot and faceplant into a lower part of the statue? I'm not an aeronautics engineer, but his trajectory ain't looking promising.
I thought you would be bigger.
Size doesn't matter. It's all about the technique, baby.
I'd expect something like that from a machine.
I'm not a machine. I'm a masterpiece of neural networking. I'm only missing a body.
Huh, in 2004, Psychotoxic predicted we'd have AI boyfriends in 2022. And they weren't far off. Clearly, this game was ahead of its time.
I don't understand. You have a steely and well-shaped body.
Hey! Are you groping my case?
You're so manly.
So, now that you know who I am, how about we go for that beer?
We'd sure attract some serious attention at the Devil's Inn.
I'm actually a very low-maintenance type. I don't smoke, I don't drink. Obviously, you should clean up my dust and change my batteries every now and then.
Where do I switch you off? Wait, what's this button for?
No, Angie, no!
The end, maybe? Well, I can tell you that it's the end, definitely. As far as I know, the only other game Nuclear Vision made was Codename Gordon? Yeah, it's a Flash game that was used to promote Half-Life 2, and they released that before they did Psychotoxic. Whoa, no. We don't have time for that. That's a video for someone else to make. Yeah, I gotta be honest, I think they should have let the game end after the escape sequence. This other ending was way too abrupt and nonsensical. As far as my thoughts on the game overall, it's not very good. That said, it's not complete dog shit either. There are a few redeeming qualities like the environment detail and variety, despite the somewhat poor gameplay. The credits end with a nice message. We hope you had some fun. And you know what? I did have some fun. It seems like the developers had some fun making the game as well, or at least I hope they did, even if the final product might not have turned out to be what they were shooting for. That's it for this one. Christmas is saved. At least for the people who survived Angie's rampage. Enjoy the holiday. I'll see you again soon. Maybe in less than a year even.
Yo, my name is Crowley, up in a bed now, see. Probably gonna get a lump of cow in my stocking.